Lisa Bennett stood by the large window of her office looking at the busy city below. The letter in her hand felt heavy with importance. She read it again to make sure she understood it correctly. Ambassador Bennett, Earth has been invited to send representatives to the Galactic Council. Lisa took a deep breath. Humans had only figured out faster-than-light travel 15 years ago. According to everything they knew, most species waited at least 100 years before getting invited to the Council. Something was different about this invitation. She pressed the button on her desk. "Nancy, please call Commander Powell. Tell him it's urgent." Within an hour, Jack Powell arrived at her office. He was a tall man with short gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. As Earth's top military officer for space matters, he needed to know about this invitation. "You look worried, Lisa," Jack said as he sat down. Lisa handed him the letter. "The Galactic Council wants us to join them." "That's too fast, Jack, way too fast." Jack read the letter slowly. "You're right. Other species had to wait much longer." He looked up at her. "Either they're impressed by us, or they're worried about us. President Mercer wants us to go. She says it's a chance we can't miss." Jack nodded. "When do we leave?" "We? I didn't say anything about you coming along." Jack smiled a little. "You didn't have to. If you're going into a room full of aliens to talk about Earth's future, you need someone watching your back. Besides, I've dealt with more alien species than anyone else on Earth." Lisa couldn't argue with that. "Fine, we leave in 3 days on the EAS Pathfinder." 3 days later, Lisa and Jack stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder as it prepared to jump to the coordinates provided by the Council. Captain Eric Miller, a young but respected officer, gave the order. "Engaging FTL drive in 3, 2, 1. The stars outside stretched into lines, and the ship jumped forward faster than light. The journey to Concordia Station would take 4 days. Lisa used this time to study everything they knew about the 12 founding species of the Galactic Council. On the 4th day, Captain Miller called them to the bridge. "Ambassador Commander, you might want to see this." Through the main view screen, they saw Concordia Station for the first time. It was enormous, at least 10 times bigger than Earth's largest space station. It looked like a giant wheel with 12 spokes connecting to a central hub. Hundreds of ships moved around it like bees around a hive. "It's incredible," Lisa whispered. The Pathfinder received permission to dock, and soon Lisa and Jack were walking through the station's main entrance hall. The ceiling was so high they could barely see it, and beings of all shapes and sizes moved about their business. A tall insect-like creature approached them. It had 4 arms and a head that resembled a praying mantis. When it spoke, a small device on its chest translated its clicks and chirps into English. "Welcome to Concordia Station. I am Zixval, diplomatic liaison to the Council. It is my honor to welcome the first human delegation." Lisa stepped forward. "Thank you for your welcome. I am Ambassador Lisa Bennett, and this is Commander Jack Powell. We are honored to represent Earth." Zixval's head tilted slightly. "The Council is most interested in meeting you. Humans have progressed faster than any species we have encountered in the last 1,000 years." Jack and Lisa exchanged looks. There it was, confirmation that their invitation was unusual. "We are eager to learn," Lisa said carefully. Zixval led them through grand hallways to their quarters. "Rest today. Tomorrow there will be a reception where you can meet representatives from many worlds. The formal council meeting will begin the day after." After Zixval left, Jack checked the room for listening devices while Lisa unpacked. "All clear," he said finally. "But we should assume everything we say is being recorded anyway." Lisa nodded. "What do you think of our welcome?" "Polite, professional." Jack paused. "But did you notice how other delegates looked at us as we passed? Some seemed afraid." "Afraid? Of us? That makes no sense. Most species here have had space travel for thousands of years. We're babies compared to them." Jack shrugged. "Sometimes babies grow up fast." The next evening, Lisa and Jack attended the reception in the Grand Hall. Beings from hundreds of worlds mingled together. Some looked almost human, while others were so strange that Lisa couldn't tell which part was their face. A blue-skinned humanoid approached them. She had patterns of lighter blue on her face that seemed to shift like waves. Greetings. I am Crest of Azure Winds of the Altharian Collective. You are the humans, yes? Lisa smiled. Yes, I'm Ambassador Bennett, and this is Commander Powell. The Altharian looked around quickly, then leaned closer. Be cautious of the terms they offer you. The founding species. They fear your kind's rapid advancement. Before Lisa could ask what she meant, Crest of Azure Winds drifted away to speak with another group. Jack kept his voice low. Well, that was interesting. And concerning, Lisa added. Why would advanced species fear us? As the night continued, they met many delegates. Most were polite but distant. A few seemed genuinely curious about humans, and a small number watched them with what could only be described as worry. Near the end of the evening, they were approached by a short, gray-skinned being with large black eyes. I am Vetlox, chairperson of the council. We are pleased you have come. Lisa bowed slightly. The honor is ours, chairperson. Vetlox studied them both. Humans have accomplished much in a short time. From your first space flight to faster-than-light travel in less than 300 years, most species take twice that long. We are curious by nature, Lisa said. Yes. Curious. And innovative. Something in the way Vetlox said the word made it sound like a problem rather than a compliment. Rest well. Tomorrow we begin formal discussions about Earth's place in the galactic community. After the chairperson left, Jack leaned close to Lisa. Did that sound like a warning to you? Lisa nodded slowly. Something isn't right here. I think we need to contact President Mercer tonight. I have a feeling tomorrow's meeting isn't going to go the way we hoped. As they left the reception, Lisa noticed many eyes following them. The excitement she had felt upon arriving was now mixed with caution. Whatever the council wanted from Earth, she was beginning to think it might not be in humanity's best interest, and she was determined to find out why. Lisa and Jack spent the next 3 days touring Concordia Station. Their guide, Zix Val, showed them gardens with plants from 1,000 worlds, libraries that held millions of years of knowledge, and observation decks that looked out into the depths of space. On the surface, everything seemed wonderful, but both humans noticed how conversations stopped when they entered rooms. They saw the nervous glances alien delegates gave each other when humans were mentioned. They're stalling, Jack said on the third night as they sat in their private quarters. 3 days of tours and talks about history, but nothing about why we're here. Lisa nodded. I agree. Tomorrow I'm going to push for the real meeting. The next morning, Lisa informed Zixval that they needed to begin formal talks immediately. The insectoid liaison seemed uncomfortable but agreed to arrange it. 2 hours later, Lisa and Jack sat at a large round table in the council chamber. Around them sat representatives of the 12 founding species. Chairperson Vetlox sat directly across from them. Ambassador Bennett, Commander Powell, we welcome you to the first formal discussion regarding Earth's potential membership in the galactic community, Vetlox began. Lisa smiled politely. We appreciate that, Chairperson. Earth is eager to learn what membership would mean for us. Vetlox nodded to an aide who handed out small devices to everyone at the table. These contain our proposal for Earth's integration. Please take a moment to review it. Lisa activated the device and a holographic document appeared above it. As she read through the terms, her smile faded. Jack's face grew darker with each section he read. When they finished, they exchanged a worried look. Chairperson, Lisa said carefully. There must be some mistake. These terms would require Earth to dismantle most of our defense fleet. Vetlox's large eyes blinked slowly. That is correct. 70% reduction is standard procedure. Jack leaned forward. Standard? There's nothing standard about asking a planet to leave itself defenseless. Not defenseless, Commander, said a reptilian delegate. The Council provides protection to all member worlds. And what about these expansion restrictions? Lisa asked. Limiting humans to only 5-star systems over 200 years? Some of our closest neighbors have dozens of colonies. Young species require guidance, Vetlock said. Your kind advances quickly. Too quickly, perhaps. Lisa continued reading aloud. Mandatory technology sharing without reciprocity. Oversight committee with veto power on human governance. Punitive tariffs on human trade for 75 years. She looked up. This isn't membership. It's control. A blue-skinned delegate that Lisa recognized as belonging to the same species as Crest of Azure Winds spoke up. The terms are harsh, but consider the benefits. Access to trade routes, cultural exchanges, protection from threats you cannot imagine. At the cost of our freedom? Jack asked. Vetlock's voice hardened. These are standard precautions for volatile young species. The Council has millennia of experience in proper integration. Volatile? Lisa repeated. Is that how you see humans? Oh, silence fell over the room. Then a large octopus-like being spoke, its translator converting burbling sounds to words. Your species went from first flight to nuclear weapons in less than 50 years, from first space travel to faster than light in less than 3 centuries. No other known species has developed so rapidly. And that makes us dangerous? Lisa asked. It makes you unpredictable, Vetlock said. The Council maintains peace through careful balance and control. Species that develop too quickly can upset that balance. Jack looked at the faces around the table. So this isn't really an invitation to join. It's containment. No one contradicted him. Lisa stood up. We'll need time to consider these terms and consult with our government. Of course, Vetlock said. But understand that these terms are not negotiable. The Council is unanimous on this matter. Back in their quarters, Lisa established a secure link to Earth. President Diane Mercer's face appeared on the screen, looking concerned. Ambassador, your report is disturbing. Are you certain there's no room for negotiation? None, Madam President. They view our rapid development as a threat to their established order. These terms would effectively make Earth a controlled state, not a true member. Jack stepped into view of the camera. In my assessment, they're afraid of us. They want to make sure we can't challenge them in the future. President Mercer was quiet for a long moment. Then we have a decision to make. Accept their terms and hope to gradually gain more freedom or reject them outright. If we accept, Lisa said, we'll be setting a precedent. They'll never see us as equals. The president nodded slowly. What if we walk away? Jack raised an eyebrow. Walk away? Yes, Mercer said. Decline their offer. Return to Earth. Continue our own path. Lisa considered this. It would be risky. We don't know how they'd react, but it would send a clear message that we won't be controlled. It also might make them reconsider, Jack added. If they truly fear our potential, seeing us leave on our own terms might worry them more than if they can keep us under their thumb. President Mercer's expression grew determined. Then that's what we'll do. Ambassador Bennett, I authorize you to reject the Council's terms and withdraw from talks. Make it clear that we would welcome fair relations in the future, but we will not accept second-class status. Yes, Madam President. Commander Powell, Mercer continued, be ready for anything. I don't think they'll try to stop you from leaving, but just in case, I'm sending 2 more ships to wait at the edge of the system. Understood. After the call ended, Lisa and Jack prepared for the next day's meeting. They didn't know how the Council would react, but they were certain of one thing. Tomorrow would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Do you think we're making the right call? Lisa asked as they reviewed their statement one last time. Jack looked at her seriously. I don't know. But I do know that any relationship that starts with one side kneeling isn't a relationship between equals. Lisa nodded. Then let's show them that humans stand on their own 2 feet. The next morning, as they walked to the Council chamber, other delegates seemed to sense something had changed. The hallways grew quiet as they passed, and even Zixval seemed nervous as he escorted them. Lisa gripped the small device containing Earth's official response. In a few minutes, she would deliver a message that might isolate humanity from the galactic community for generations. Or, just maybe, it would force the Council to see humans in a new light. Either way, there was no turning back now. The Council chamber was completely full when Lisa and Jack entered. Word had spread quickly that the humans had requested an emergency session. Representatives from hundreds of worlds packed the viewing galleries above the main floor. Even species that rarely attended council meetings had sent delegates. Chairperson Vetlox looked surprised at the large turnout, but quickly regained composure. Ambassador Bennett, you have requested this session. The council recognizes Earth and gives you the floor. Lisa walked to the center of the chamber. The room fell silent. She could feel the weight of thousands of alien eyes upon her. Jack stood, a few steps behind her, his face calm but alert. Honored chairperson, esteemed council members, and delegates of the galactic community, Lisa began. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, I thank you for your invitation and for the hospitality shown to us during our stay. She paused, looking around the room. Yesterday, we received your terms for Earth's membership in the Galactic Council. We have given them careful consideration and consulted with our government. Many of the council members leaned forward, clearly expecting her to begin negotiations or perhaps to reluctantly accept their offer. Humanity appreciates your invitation, but we cannot accept membership on these terms. A wave of whispers and clicks swept through the chamber. Vetlox's large eyes blinked rapidly in what Lisa had learned was a sign of surprise. These terms reflect not caution but fear, not wisdom but control, Lisa continued, her voice growing stronger. Humanity has survived countless trials without galactic guidance. We will continue our journey independently, with goodwill toward all species who approach us as equals. She lifted her chin and delivered the final part of her message. As of this moment, Earth formally withdraws from membership talks and will be departing Concordia Station within 3 hours. We remain open to future discussions based on mutual respect and equality. The chamber erupted in noise. Some delegates stood and shouted questions. Others turned to their neighbors in heated discussion. Chairperson Vetlox banged a ceremonial staff on the floor 3 times, bringing some order back to the room. Ambassador Bennett, perhaps you misunderstand the nature of these proceedings, Vetlox said. The terms presented are standard for— We understand perfectly, Lisa interrupted, something that was rarely done in council meetings. The terms would limit our growth, weaken our defenses, and place our governance under outside control. No sovereign people would accept such conditions, a reptilian council member hissed loudly. Your species advances too quickly to be left unchecked. The safety of the galaxy must be considered. Jack stepped forward. If safety is your concern, then consider this. A friend is safer than an enemy, and a partner is safer than a subject. Lisa nodded to Jack, then turned back to Vetlox. Our decision is final. We wish the Council peace and prosperity, but we will find our own path among the stars. With that, Lisa and Jack turned and walked toward the exit. The room was in chaos now. Several junior representatives tried to intercept them, but the humans politely declined further discussion. Zixval waited for them in the corridor outside. The insectoid's body language seemed to indicate distress. Ambassador, please reconsider. There has never been a species that rejected council membership. The implications are unpredictable. Lisa's expression softened slightly. Zixval, you've been kind to us, but we cannot accept terms that treat us as children or potential threats. The council can protect you. There are dangers in the galaxy that you cannot imagine. Jack smiled grimly. And there are strengths in humanity that the council cannot imagine. As they continued walking toward the docking bay where the Pathfinder waited, more delegates approached them. Some tried to convince them to stay. Others seemed almost relieved or excited by their decision. Crest of azure winds appeared suddenly from a side passage. Humans, she said quietly, you have shaken the council today. Not all of us agree with the terms you were offered. Some of us will try to change things from within. Lisa nodded gratefully. We would welcome true partnership in the future. Be watchful on your journey home, the blue-skinned alien added before quickly moving away. When they reached the Pathfinder, Captain Miller was waiting at the airlock. Ambassador Commander, we've been monitoring the station's communications. There's unusual signal traffic all over the place. Jack nodded. They didn't expect us to walk away. Get us ready for immediate departure, Lisa ordered. I want to be out of the system as soon as possible. As the Pathfinder prepared to undock, Lisa stood at the bridge view screen looking back at Concordia Station. She wondered if she had just cut humanity off from the wider galaxy, or if this bold move would eventually lead to something better. The ship pulled away from the station and began accelerating toward the jump point. Communications Officer Ryan Grant reported from his station. Ambassador, we're receiving dozens of requests for further talks, some from the Council, others from individual species. Log them all, Lisa said, but maintain our course. We've made our position clear. 6 hours later, as the Pathfinder prepared to jump back to Earth space, they received one final message. It was from Vetlox. Ambassador Bennett, the Council respects Earth's decision, though we believe it unwise. Know that the offer of membership remains open should you reconsider. The galaxy can be a dangerous place for those who stand alone. Lisa didn't bother responding. The message was partly diplomatic face-saving and partly a veiled threat. Either way, humanity had made its choice. Engage jump drive, Captain Miller ordered. The stars stretched into lines, and the Pathfinder leapt toward home. Back on Earth, news of the delegation's return spread quickly. President Mercer arranged a global broadcast to explain what had happened. Citizens of Earth, she began, our representatives have returned from Concordia Station. The Galactic Council offered us membership, but at a price we cannot accept. They asked us to limit our growth, reduce our defenses, and submit to their oversight. These terms were not offered in the spirit of partnership, but of control. She paused, letting her words sink in. Therefore, Earth has withdrawn from talks. We will continue to explore the stars on our own terms. We will increase our defense capabilities, and we will seek relationships with individual species who treat us as equals. In the weeks that followed, humanity prepared for isolation. Defense budgets increased. Explorer ships received upgraded weapons and shields. Diplomatic teams practiced first contact scenarios with a new emphasis on strength and independence. Lisa found herself busier than ever. Despite officially rejecting the Council, Earth was receiving more diplomatic visitors than before. Small trading ships from non-Council worlds arrived seeking deals. A few brave representatives from Council species came unofficially to maintain contact. They're testing us, Jack said during a strategy meeting. Trying to figure out what humans do next. Lisa agreed. We've surprised them. Now we need to show them that we can thrive without them. But neither of them could have predicted what would happen next. 6 months after leaving Concordia Station, everything changed. The threat that would ultimately bring humans and the Council back together was already moving through the darkness of space, headed toward settled worlds. And, when it arrived, both humanity and the Council would discover just how much they needed each other. 6 months had passed since Earth walked away from the Galactic Council. Life went on. Humans continued exploring nearby star systems, but now they were more careful. Every ship carried better weapons and shields. Every crew trained for possible trouble. Lisa Bennett had just finished a meeting with representatives from the Kiravan traders, a minor species not aligned with the Council, when her assistant hurried into the room. Ambassador, there's an unscheduled ship requesting emergency landing. It's small, unmarked, and using outdated codes. Lisa frowned. Security status? Defense systems are tracking it, but it's making no threatening moves. The pilot claims to be human. This was unusual. All human ships were carefully tracked. Allow landing, but have a security team ready. 30 minutes later, Lisa stood in a secure meeting room as the guards brought in the ship's only passenger. She was a thin woman with short brown hair. She looked exhausted. Officer Susan Wright, Earth Intelligence, the woman said, showing her identification. I need to speak with you immediately, Ambassador. It's urgent. After confirming Wright's identity, Lisa dismissed the guards. You've been deep undercover? Wright nodded. 6 years, operating beyond council space in the outer systems. She placed a small device on the table. But I came back because of this. The device projected images of massive ships unlike anything Lisa had seen before. They were huge, twisted combinations of metal and what looked like living tissue. In one image, such a ship was breaking apart a small moon. "What am I looking at?" Lisa asked. "They call themselves the Void Harbingers, an ancient species that disappeared from the galaxy thousands of years ago. Now they're back. And they're hostile?" Susan's face hardened. "They've already consumed 3 outer systems. They don't communicate, they don't negotiate. They just take. Planets, moons, ships, people. Everything becomes material for more of their ships." Lisa studied the images more closely. "Does the council know?" "Yes. The attack started in their territory, but they're struggling to respond effectively." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "With all their advanced technology?" "Their technology is advanced, but their military thinking is not," Susan explained. "The council hasn't faced a serious enemy in thousands of years. Their strictly controlled military development and reliance on committee decisions has left them unprepared." Lisa immediately called an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. Within hours, President Mercer, Commander Powell, and other key officials gathered to hear Susan's report. "How much time do we have?" asked the president after seeing the evidence. Susan shook her head. "It's impossible to say. The Harbingers don't move in straight lines. They spread like a disease, consuming systems to build more ships, then spreading further. But based on their current pattern, they could reach Council core worlds within a year. Earth may be a year after that." Jack Powell, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "We need more information. Council records might tell us more about these Harbingers from their previous appearance." President Mercer nodded. "Ambassador Bennett, reach out to any council contacts willing to share information. Commander Powell, I want our best minds working on defensive options." Over the next few weeks, Earth prepared. While the council tried to keep the Harbinger threat secret from most of its citizens, humans took a different approach. Scientists, engineers, and military experts worldwide were given all available information and asked to develop solutions. One breakthrough came from Dr. Alan Winters, a physicist who had been studying the energy patterns of alien technology. "Their ships use a form of energy drain," he explained during a briefing. "They don't just destroy targets, they absorb their energy. But every energy system has a frequency. If we can identify their frequency and create opposing shield harmonics, we might be able to resist them." Meanwhile, Major Kelly Ross had been running combat simulations. "The Harbingers use predictable attack patterns," she told the military. "Command. They expect enemies to either run away or attack head-on. But what if we did neither? What if we used unpredictable strike patterns, hitting them from multiple angles, constantly changing tactics?" Jack Powell combined these ideas into a new defense strategy. Human ships would be equipped with Dr. Winters' shield harmonics and trained in Major Ross's tactics. The approach was untested but promising. Then came the news they had been dreading. A peaceful trading hub named Stellar Crossing, located just 3 jumps from Sol, had gone silent. Initial reports suggested a Harbinger attack. President Mercer called another emergency meeting. "This is no longer a distant problem. The Harbingers are at our doorstep sooner than expected." Lisa showed the latest intelligence from their council contacts. The council forces are losing badly. Their coordinated defense strategy fell apart when the Harbingers adapted faster than the council could respond. Now each species is trying to protect their own worlds. "And Earth?" asked the president. "What's our status?" "Dr. Winters' shield harmonics show promise in simulations," Jack reported. "And Major Ross's tactics have been integrated into our fleet training. We're as ready as we can be without actual combat experience." The room fell silent as everyone considered the implications. Finally, President Mercer spoke. "We face a choice. We can focus solely on defending Earth and our colonies, or we can offer help to the council that rejected us." The council treated us like children. One cabinet member objected. "Let them solve their own problems." Susan Wright shook her head. "The Harbingers won't stop with the council. If the council falls, we're next. There's another consideration, Lisa added quietly. Who do we want to be? The species that stood aside while others were destroyed? Or the species that helped despite past disagreements? Jack nodded. The council was wrong about us. This is our chance to prove it. President Mercer stood up. Her decision was clear in her eyes before she even spoke. We are not who they fear we are. We will show them who we truly are. She turned to Lisa. Ambassador Bennett, prepare to return to Concordia Station. Tell them Earth is ready to help. Lisa felt both afraid and determined. And if they reject our help, they won't, Jack said confidently. They're losing and they know it. Pride is a luxury they can no longer afford. As they left the meeting, Lisa wondered how the council would receive them this time. 6 months ago, they had walked away from the council's demands. Now they were walking back, not as supplicants but as potential saviors. The fate of Earth, perhaps of the entire galaxy, would depend on what happened next. When the EAS Pathfinder arrived at Concordia Station, Lisa Bennett could hardly believe what she saw. The once majestic station was surrounded by damaged ships. Emergency repairs were visible on several of the station's outer sections. The grand approach path they had used 6 months earlier was closed, and they were directed to a small utilitarian docking bay. Quite different from our first visit, Jack Powell remarked as they prepared to board the station. This time, no formal greeting. Party waited for them. Only Zixval, the insectoid liaison, stood at the airlock. The alien's normally perfect posture was slightly hunched, a sign of extreme stress Lisa had learned to recognize. Ambassador Bennett, Commander Powell, your arrival is unexpected. Lisa nodded. We've come to speak with the council about the Harbinger threat. Zixval's antennae twitched. Follow me. The council is in emergency session. They walked through corridors that seemed dimmer than before. Many aliens rushed past them, carrying equipment or reviewing data on portable screens. The atmosphere of calm order that had defined Concordia was gone, replaced by barely controlled panic. When they reached the council chamber, they found it transformed into a war room. The elegant meeting table was now covered with maps and reports. Holographic displays showed battle plans and casualty figures. Council members argued loudly over strategies. We must abandon the outer sectors and consolidate our forces, a reptilian counselor hissed. My people live in those sectors, another shouted back. Chairperson Vetlox looked up and noticed the humans. The room fell silent. Ambassador Bennett, Vetlox said, voice heavy with exhaustion. Earth returns to us at a difficult time. Lisa stepped forward. We know about the Void Harbingers. We've come to help. Suspicious murmurs ran through the room. Vetlox studied them carefully. Help? Why would you help those who rejected you? Because this galaxy is our home too, Lisa said simply. And humans protect their home. Jack moved to one of the holographic displays. Your current strategy won't work. The Harbingers adapt too quickly to standard tactics. A blue-skinned counselor that Lisa recognized as a senior Altharian asked, And humans have a better plan? We might, Lisa replied. We've developed shield technology that could counter their energy-draining weapons and new battle tactics that they won't expect. Impossible, a council military advisor said. Our scientists have worked on this problem for months without success. Dr. Alan Winters, who had accompanied them from Earth, stepped forward with a small device. May I? He asked, gesturing to the main display system. After receiving a reluctant nod from Vetlox, he connected his device. The screens filled with technical data and simulation results. The Harbinger's ships operate on a specific energy frequency, Dr. Winters explained. They use this to drain power from their targets. But we've discovered how to create a shield harmonic that resists this drain. The council's scientific advisors crowded around the displays, their initial skepticism giving way to interest as they reviewed the data. Meanwhile, Major Kelly Ross was showing Jack and several alien commanders her tactical simulations. The Harbingers expect either direct confrontation or retreat. Their hive mind struggles to process multiple unexpected threats. So we hit them from all sides, constantly changing patterns. For hours, the humans shared their research and plans. Gradually, the Council's resistance turned to cautious hope. Your ideas have merit, Vetlox finally admitted, but implementing them would require reorganizing our entire defense fleet. There isn't time. Then we'll help you, Lisa said. Earth ships are already equipped with the new shields. Let us lead a joint strike force. The council chamber erupted in debate. Some councilors immediately rejected the idea of humans leading council ships. Others saw it as their only hope. Finally, Crest of Azure Winds spoke up. The humans walked away when we tried to control them. Now they returned to help when they could have protected only themselves. Perhaps we were wrong about them. After more hours of intense discussion, a decision was reached. A joint human council fleet would target the Harbinger command ship identified in the Arcturus Nexus. Earth vessels would lead the attack, with Commander Powell coordinating the overall strategy. 3 days later, the battle began. Hundreds of ships from 24 species engaged the Harbinger fleet. At first, the battle seemed hopeless. The Harbinger's massive ships dwarfed even the largest council vessels. But then the humans' plan began to work. Protected by Dr. Winters' shield harmonics, the Allied ships could survive the Harbinger's energy weapons. Using Major Ross's unpredictable tactics, they confused the hive mind that controlled the enemy fleet. Commander Powell led a small, fast strike team directly toward the enemy command ship. Remember, stay unpredictable, he told his mixed crew of humans and aliens. Don't let them anticipate your movements. The strike team suffered losses, but they reached their target. While the battle raged outside, Powell and his team boarded the Harbinger command ship. What they found inside was nightmare fuel, a twisted combination of technology and living tissue. At the center was the Harbinger consciousness, a massive brain-like structure that controlled the entire fleet. Powell's team planted special disruptors designed by Dr. Winters. This will shut down their network, he explained to his alien comrades. When it activates, all ships need to hit them with everything they have. They barely escaped the command ship before the disruptors activated. The effect was immediate. The previously coordinated Harbinger fleet began to move erratically. Some ships stopped completely. Now, Powell ordered over the fleet-wide channel. All ships, concentrate fire! The battle lasted another 6 hours, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. Without their central coordination, the Harbingers couldn't adapt to the Allies' attacks. One by one, the massive enemy ships were destroyed or disabled. When it was over, the survivors gathered on Concordia Station. The victory had been costly. Hundreds of ships and thousands of lives lost, but the Harbinger threat was ended. 1 week later, Lisa Bennett stood again in the council chamber. This time, she wasn't there to reject their terms, but to discuss a new beginning. Chairperson. Vetlox addressed the full assembly. The recent crisis has shown us that our old ways of thinking may not serve us well. Humanity, whom we sought to control, instead taught us about innovation and adaptation. They offered help when they could have turned away. The new treaty presented to Earth was nothing like the first. It recognized humans as equals, established fair trade protocols, and created a joint defense initiative that valued human innovation rather than fearing it. As Lisa signed the document on behalf of Earth, she shared a knowing look with Jack Powell. The stars were now open to humanity, not because they had begged their way in, but because they had earned their place through both the courage to walk away and the compassion to return when needed most. Welcome to the Galactic community, Vetlox said, as true partners. Lisa smiled. We look forward to building a better future together. And so began a new chapter in galactic history, one where humans took their place among the stars not as controlled subjects, but as respected equals, who had proven their worth when it mattered most.